My youngest daughter had already survived brain cancer, and I had always had to work through that process in order to provide for my children. So that was tough in itself. We received some news and some imaging that was pretty devastating, especially to me as a mother. And I realized at that point that the most important thing in my life and in my children's lives was to stop working and to, get my daughter settled and stable medically, try to figure out what this was that we were even looking at. It was very hard because it's something that is so very rare that even the doctors weren't able to put a name to it or any sort of future prognosis with it. So that was where I needed to put my time. So I left work. I went out on family disability originally, left work, and I moved in a roommate into our house so that I could afford to keep the kids, same school district, same home, same friends, same cul-de-sac, same park. It was really important to me that they had that stability in their lives. Soon after doing that, my landlord of many years decided that he was at a point where he needed to sell his home. So we found ourselves very quickly without a place to live. Me and my two daughters. Because I was not working, it was a real challenge finding somebody who would rent a home to us. But I knew that I couldn't go back to work. So having all my finances in a row and having all my ducks in a row became not the issue anymore. I did that all really responsibly, but all of a sudden I was a homeless mother of two. Sorry. I refocused my energy on trying to find employment, but something that wouldn't take me out of the home as much, for my children, especially my disabled daughter. So, I started coming down to the employment development office, looking at their flyers, getting on CalWorks, putting in my resumes, going to workshops, anything to try to navigate a career change. And then that being the door into the Fremont Resource Center, as I realized at some point, after your hotel bouncing and crash couching for a while with two kids, that I was becoming overwhelmed and I didn't know how to navigate the system. So when I met my caseworker at the FRC, it was a case manager of the day. And she ended up to be an intern. And I liked that she was an intern because she was there for a reason. She wanted to serve, she wanted to help. And I think it helped both of us because she found so many resources that she had never known of, looking for ways to help me in my situation. So we had our weekly appointments, and it was important to me to have something to do once a week, and I think she knew that. So I had a structure, and she created a structure. There were times that I just couldn't. And that was hard too, because I was always able and, really high functioning, able to take care of things. And there was times that I just couldn't, I couldn't call to make a doctor's appointment. Simple things. I just was so overwhelmed personally. And she'd sit right there and she'd make a doctor appointment for me, with the same doctor I'd known for years, but just her being there and just really knowing and really kind of holding my hand through that process and, pointing me in the right direction. It was great. I went to the FERC office and I met Michelle, and I was led there once again by my case manager. And it was, I want to say it was almost a breath of fresh air. I mean, it was just immediately being faced with somebody who was also a caretaker. And you can tell that and you can feel that, this is somebody who really knows the stress and the hurt and the, just the exhaustion of being a caretaker, and just knowing that she was there, and, her hugs came from a real understanding. I found my way to Compassion Network with the help of my case manager. I'd gotten, I'd been doing this for months, and I'd been looking for a job for months, and I'd been looking for a house for months. And I just got to the point where I was in her office, and I stopped. I completely just shut down. And so she literally walked me over to Compassion Network. She walked me over there, and the first I remember the first 20 minutes I couldn't say a word. I was just, I think they even ended up closing the door, kind of closing the door, because I just sat down and I just lost it. I was very emotional. Kind of had reached the end of my mental capacity at that point. I was just really kind of done, really frustrated, really discouraged, didn't know where to go. And it was life-changing, just life-changing. Just kind of, what does Alice need? Let's help take over. Let's go get this application. Let's go help her fill it out. Let's make sure, she's doing what she needs to do. So it was another resource that I needed, of just people kind of holding my hand to get what I needed to get done. After 4 months, I finally was able to find housing. I was able to find housing for my children and I. It was a big difference from what they were used to, but it was so nice to have a home again. So I am back to work. I'm general manager now for Panera Bread, and I enjoy my job. I need to work. I'm that kind of person where I have to work. I have to be doing something. The kids and I have moved out of our temporary housing that we were in into, they're in a much better place again, and that's important to me. My youngest daughter still has huge challenges that are just unfortunately going to continue to get worse, but there's nothing I can do about that, and it is what it is. And once again, I really thank the people at Compassion Network for teaching me how to live in the moment, teaching me how to be grateful for any situation, whether it's it's a hard one or an easy one. So I feel good about where we are now. I do. It's nice. It's nice to be able to let my daughter ride her bike down the street again, as opposed to where we were, and be able to stretch out. So it's nice being able to go to work again, having my kids in a nice, safe place again. Yeah. No matter how prepared you are, no matter what you do, things can happen. And I think it was this place. I mean, it was here when I needed it, and in all ways it was here when I needed it. And it's given me so much more. I'm still here at least once a week.